I pretended to be a criminal for 8 months as an undercover cop until my own sister arrested me. I never planned on lying to my sister for 8 months, but when you are an undercover detective infiltrating a drug ring and your sister gets transferred to narcotics in the same precinct, life gets complicated fast. I'd been undercover as Marcus for almost a year, working my way into a prescription drug operation run through 3 pharmacies downtown. My real name, badge, and entire identity were locked away, minus only my captain and 2 handlers knew who I really was. Then my sister Einfor, also a cop, but previously in another district, transferred to my precinct. I found out during a weekly dead drop information exchange with my handler. Keep your distance, he warned. She doesn't know about your assignment. I thought it would be easy enough to avoid her, until 3 weeks later when I was at a supplier meeting in a parking garage and patrol cars suddenly swarmed us. As I was being zip-tied face down on the concrete, I heard a familiar voice bark orders. My stomach dropped. It was Entel, now apparently leading narcotics raids. I kept my head down, using my long hair grown for the undercover role to shield my face. But when she approached to process me, there was no hiding name, she demanded, not looking up from her notepad. Marcus Wilson, I mumbled, disguising my voice. She froze, then roughly grabbed my chin to look at my face. Her expression shifted from confusion to shock to fury in seconds. What the? She started, then caught herself. She stared at me for what felt like eternity before whispering. Is this some kind of joke? I whispered back. I am working. Please don't blow this. The conflict in her eyes was painful to watch. She finally snapped. Get him in my car. Now. She drove in silence for 10 blocks before pulling into an empty lot. 8 months I've been hunting the Wilson operation, she said through gritted teeth. 8 months of overtime and missed dinners with my kids. And my own brother is what? Playing criminal. I am not playing anything, I replied. I am undercover narcotics, just like you, but deep cover need to know. Her voice cracked. I've been telling my therapist how worried I am about you since you started acting strange and hanging with a bad crowd. Mom thinks you are using again. Before I could respond, her radio crackled. My handler's voice came through. Detective Rivera, we need to talk about your prisoner. She glared at me. I've been building a case against people you are apparently working with. I'm sorry, was all I could say. She drove me to the station where my captain explained everything. The department had intentionally kept our operations separate, minus standard procedure, to prevent exactly this kind of situation. 3 days later, after a mountain of paperwork and interdepartmental meetings, both our operations were salvaged. We even managed to coordinate our evidence for a bigger bust. At Sunday dinner, our first family meal in months, Mom kept asking why we both looked so exhausted. Jenna just smiled and said, work has been interesting. Did you know your son is actually good at his job? I kicked her under the table, and your daughter only arrested me once this month, so we're making progress. Mom looked between us completely confused. Is this some kind of cop joke? We both answered simultaneously. Something like that.